Starting a new Boom Beach account in 2025, and we're gonna do everything all the way from HQ1. Now is like a pretty good time since a lot of the last few updates had some pretty good quality of life for low levels. And we'll mainly go through the series keeping it casual, but also covering a lot of tips to make progress pretty fast. And yeah, we did just art the ground too. But I like how you can just jump right in, do an attack. I think this is probably the only attack that doesn't have 3 times mode, but now that they made that all the way from HQ1, makes it super easy. Once you go back home, you can see what this guy's saying. Well, you got free time savers, and really the main thing that helps you early on is getting time savers just to speed everything up. You can click the top left menu to see a bunch of options. They also introduced this crash course, which until you get to HQ5, just free gold, wood, and even diamonds. So we're gonna make sure we do a bunch of that. And if you ever play Clash of Clans, Boom is a lot different in that you actually want to rush HQ levels. The only thing stopping you is XP levels, so always upgrading stuff, making sure you get to the next HQ. Because that's where you get new troops like heavies here, and some cool offense. So let's see. Looks like we need a bit more wood, but instead of doing an attack, we can go to the crash course, see, well, first 10 diamonds, but cutting down a tree gets a few extra, and even checking the helper. So get a tree taken care of. Helper is, I think, this guy right here. No, it might be the guy in the bottom. Checking out what he has to say. And when you go back in the crash course, it's like free loot. And doing these saves a ton of time, especially when you're starting out. So now we go to HQ3. And here's what we mean about using time savers. Don't gotta wait an hour. Just tap a few times. And now we're already HQ3. They're being mean, so we can't go to the next one yet. You need to build a radar first. And that's one way to explore more islands, get more bases to take down. So let's see, looks like we need a few more wood. And maybe we can do a summer crash course. There's also achievements, which is free diamonds. Though for most cases, we're gonna save our diamonds until a bit later on. Here we got nothing. Well, if you want to speed up progress, you can get the extra builder, instant training. Though we're gonna mainly keep this account free to play. Though if you do buy any of these, you can always support a creator, and if you want to support this channel, our code is Stoneheart. And now we'll check the crash course. Got some bases to take down, get some wood, explore map regions. So we can go ahead and do that. It's pretty cheap early on. And all these little diamond chests get you extra stuff. 28 diamonds right there. But kind of my favorite thing in the last few updates is, right in the beginning you can use 3 times mode. But some of the bases even use artillery to take down most of the base. So if you want to really speedrun this, then you can always do that. Otherwise, let's take down one more base. Can do volatile materials. Now I like this one because you can only use artillery. Taking down 4 buildings at once, get a bunch more GBE back, and then just take down the HQ. I think that might give us at least a few crash course stuff. Can go back and check it out. Some more wood, some gold. And it goes right into the next part, which we can get some more diamonds, more stuff. We actually get more wood from building the wood storage, so let's go ahead and do that. Only takes 3 seconds either way. And once that's done, you can see what we got. So we have just enough for HQ4. Looks like just missing a little bit. But training grounds is another way to get a bunch of time savers. And it's one thing in our crash course. Here it just kind of teaches you how to do everything. We're even going to avoid that cannon by going all the way in the back. And with 3 times mode, it's going to really speed things up. So really across all this early level gameplay, it's going to be these training grounds and a crash course to make some progress really fast. So we go back over here, get some more wood, and now we can already go to HQ4. Not going to wait the 2 hours, can just use time savers. And we got some medkits for us. Hero Hut is pretty strong too, because even Brick at level 1, there she is. She's going to be really strong. Don't have enough wood, but again, keep on doing some crash courses, and let's get some more resources. So building that one building gets us 8,000 wood, can get the Hero Hut. And since we also got the radar another level, we can open up all these clouds. Because even though our storage capacity is only 25,000, whenever you use a crash course and get loot here, it overfills the storages. So we'll go ahead, open all these guys. And if you want, you can do these attacks, get some practice in. But we're just gonna use a crash course for the most part, because don't gotta do too much. So opening up all these guys, every single cloud, and getting all these diamond chests. Now if you really want, you can wait until you get more VP level to open up these chests, because when you click the info, you get more loot out of them whenever you get higher VP. So right now we're at 9, maybe we'll wait until like 20 or 40 until we open them up, especially with 8 in a row right here. And now we gotta build a ton of buildings because technically we want the next HQ, but need the XP level. In the start, I like just using rifles to do attacks. They're pretty cheap to train, especially if you don't have instant training, because it's only 10 seconds for each one. But they also made a change where heavies don't take a long time, especially at low levels, though rifles do have more damage. And as far as what to upgrade early on, it doesn't really matter. Everything's pretty cheap and some of them only take a few seconds. So whatever you can muster to get your level up. Alright, looks like now we need some more resources. See what we have in the crash course. Well, killing 3 bases gets us 15,000 wood, so I can go ahead and do that. You got a bunch of options, but really can do any one. Some of them, like this, you can realize that, well, you have a mortar there, a sniper, but with flare, another big difference from Clash, you can just avoid all of them. And use 3 times mode to really speed it up. Need 2 more bases, see what we got. Almost like Sniper Brothers, they're pretty easy. Because once you drop all these guys, you can do a bunch of artillery, and speed everything up. So that's one of those guys. I think they have a second base too. And if you want to take time going through these bases, it's always some good practice. Got that final base right here. It's almost the same, but snipers are separated. Once you kill one of those guys, you can just flare on top. If you ever lose a few rifles, only a few seconds to train, so not too bad. But killing 3 bases, now we got a lot more resources. And here even more, cause got 40,000 from building the hero hut, another 40,000 from the armory, and now we should have enough loot, I think, all the way to HQ 5. So go ahead, finish the landing crafts all to level 3, using those time savers. I think we might run out soon. And getting them to level 4 because as we go to higher HQ levels, we want to focus more on offense. So here we're out of time savers, and the best way to get them is using these training grounds. Here we need a heavy, so let's get one of them loading up. Probably this first boat. But once you have the heavy up, these training grounds are super easy just to get more time savers. So like this one, drop them anywhere, they're going to clear the base. Heavy is pretty good as a meat shield, though I like for the most part still using mostly rifles. And you can do this tons of times to get more and more time savers. This one, if you want to avoid mines, you can flare around them, or just art them out, and we get some even more time savers. I think at this point we can go all the way to level 10, just to have enough for the next several upgrades. Here we have a rocket, which you don't even need to drop the rifles first, because it does a lot of splash damage, but brick can take it down, and then you add some more rifles later. Now that we're all the way to level 10, we went from no time savers to 38, should be enough for quite a bit. So finishing up these landing crafts, already have tons of wood. And when you finish these guys up, see what's next. Almost XP level 8, so nearly one more to next HQ. So seeing whatever is going to be cheap. I think residences aren't too bad, only 3 time savers each. And like we said, tons of resources from already before. Get the sawmill also to level 3, and get a few more upgrades going. And since you did even another level on the radar, you can go ahead and open up some more clouds. Because even if you're not attacking those bases, you can have these little diamond chests, gives you both diamonds and some VP points. Finishing up a few more levels, And now we're finally XP level 9. You can also get some more wood if you want. And in fact, we can just finish a crash course right now too. So we got one upgrade in the armory, and looks like all we can afford is mines. But since one of them has us, I think, using 10 diamonds, we can just go ahead and diamond it up. You actually don't want to use diamonds until upgrades are at least 6 hours long, because otherwise time savers just have more value. Because even when you get some MVP chests, one time saver for 2 diamonds is a lot more value. But in fact, we can go ahead and use maybe just one time saver and the rest some diamonds, so getting us a bunch of gold. And the final crash course, upgrading HQ all the way to level 5. We're not going to use time savers for the full 5 hours, but once that's up, get the last crash course and that sweet 100,000 gold. So gotta make sure if you're starting a new account, get the crash course done. And next time we can go ahead and try more of these training grounds. Now we get 10 time savers for every time. And it means you don't have to wait for a bunch of these upgrades that even take a few hours long. So we'll probably wrap things up over here, but let me know what you want to see for covering main island, any things like attack strategies, or just upgrading every HQ. And if there's anything we missed, make sure you leave a comment below. But that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.